Hello, everyone. Welcome to those who haven't been here before. Welcome back to those who have watched before. Thanks for coming again. My name is Leah Langley, and I wanted to have a quick chat, kind of about what this title of this video says, which is lead performances being considered in supporting categories. This is something that's been happening, I feel like, for the past several years, but if not longer. This has been something that's been going on, but there's been more discussion around it kind of as like Oscar season heats up. The Oscar nominations were just announced, and the three performances I want to talk about today are these three performances have been pretty much nominated for all of the big awards up to this point. Two of them of the three are projected to win, like the Oscars, and will win some of these awards coming up, and we've already won some. So yeah, like people are talking about this, like should these performances actually be in these categories? Like we're gonna talk about screen times, we're gonna talk about all this stuff. So yeah, I want to hear your thoughts on it, and like I said, this is a quick chat, so hopefully we don't go too long, but just it's an interesting thing that's going on, and I think it's going to continue to be a thing. So the first thing I want to talk about, kind of just in general, like what is like the definition, or like what is like the general accepted, like what do we consider a supporting performance? Like what does that mean? So generally, a supporting actor or actress is the actor who performs a role in a play or film below that of the leading actor or actors, and above that of a bit part. And they separate them into supporting actor, supporting actress. A supporting actor or actress, another thing, plays a role that is secondary to the lead, but still important to the story. So it can be like someone's spouse, a friend, romantic interest, enemies, things like that. But it's not the main character. So that all makes sense. You know, there's lead performances, there's supporting performances, there's different categories for that. But again, we're talking about this year. There's been some like, are these people actually considered leads? Some people think that this person is actually a protagonist, like in the story, like a main part of the story, but they're in supporting categories. So it's just all these like kind of differences. So the first one I want to talk about this year, and I will say a bunch of the screen time data, or pretty much all the screen time data that I'm getting, is from Matthew Stewart, who is at Screen Time Central. They're great in terms of like breaking down all the screen times for all these different performances and things. So jumping first to Zoe Saldana and Emilia Perez. This is one of the bigger ones I've heard about people talking about. She's already won the Golden Globe. Like I said, she's one of those people who's predicted to win a lot more of these awards coming up. I wouldn't be surprised if she won the Oscar. Again, according to Matthew Stewart, her performance for Emilia Perez clocks in at 57 minutes and 50 seconds of screen time, which represents 43.69% of the film's runtime. And with Zoe's performance, it's actually more time, than the lead actor, the person who's being up for all the lead actor awards, Carla Sofia Gascon, who was Emilia Perez in the movie. Her runtime is 52 minutes, 21 seconds, which is 39.54% of the film. So Zoe has 5.5 minutes more, but she's a supporting actor, and then Gascon is the lead actor, but has less time. Again, I get screen time isn't everything, but it's kind of just like an interesting like note. And we're watching the movie. I don't really know much of all what the movie was necessarily about, but I started it, and I didn't even know it was a musical when I started it. But I started it, and Zoe was like there for a while. We didn't see Gascon. We didn't see Gomez for a while in the movie. I think at least half an hour or something. It was pretty much Zoe was like the movie essentially. We were kind of following Zoe, and then she eventually meets the future Emilia Perez. So again, people have been talking about like they feel like Zoe's more of a lead character, Gascon's a lead character as well, but like the two of them are like leads, and then like Selena Gomez is supporting fine. So that's an interesting one, kind of the first one to kind of muster over, think about. What do you think about Zoe being considered supporting acting categories? Like I said, she's predicted to win some more of these awards. She's already won the Golden Globe. I wouldn't be surprised if she won a couple of these other ones coming up, but what do we think there? Next up, we have Ariana Grande in Wicked. And this is an interesting one because already from the jump, obviously we know from the Tonys all those years ago, the original Tonys, the original Broadway musical, Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth, who originated the roles, were both in the lead category at the Tonys. That is to say, for the whole Wicked story, this was just part one, the movie, as we know. But in the movie right now, Ariana Grande is supporting actor for the actress for the awards. Cynthia Erivo is lead. Ariana Grande has 1 hour and 11 minutes 25 seconds of screen time in Wicked Part 1, which is 44.59% of the movie's runtime. Cynthia Erivo is 1 hour 25 minutes 44 seconds, which is 53.53% of the runtime. So about a 9% difference there. So okay, and I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, is part two, is Glinda, who's Ariana's character, is Glinda more involved in part two? I was trying to think back to the musical, and I think maybe a little bit more because Elphaba is on the run, kind of in a situation. I was trying to like think, because again, not necessarily trying to compare it to the Tonys, because obviously the Tonys is taking the whole story into account to have them both in lead. I don't know, but it's something to think about. Specifically with Ariana's performance, she got the Oscar nomination, which makes her the second longest performance to be recognized in the category. I believe if she would win, she would break the current record for the longest. If she win the Oscar, she'd break the record for the longest runtime to like win the supporting actress nomination. The record holder right now is Tatum O'Neal, who won Best Supporting Actress for Paper Moon, a 1974 film of the Oscars of 1974. Her runtime was an hour, 6 minutes, 58 seconds, which is 65.49% of the film. Tatum O'Neal is also the youngest person to win a competitive Oscar. She won it at 10 years old. So she's already the second most runtime, screen time, to be nominated. But she potentially could win, which would make her the most time on screen to win some Best Supporting Actress, which is interesting. You think about some of the other people who win the category this year, like specifically Isabella Rossellini, who's in Conclave. She only has 8 minutes, 16 seconds in Conclave, only 6.86% of the film. Like, very small part comparatively to, like, if you look at Ariana Grande or look at Zoe Saldana, she's, like, a true, like, supporting character. She doesn't even really speak hardly. We heard she gave that wonderful speech towards the end of the movie. But that's a supporting actor, like, in terms of, like, ooh, this is a really, really supporting situation where these other people are thinking, like, are they leads, though? Are they not co-leads here? Which is kind of interesting. Last person I want to speak about is Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain. So again, according to Matthew Stewart at Screen Time Central, Kieran Culkin has approximately 58 minutes and 6 seconds of screen time in A Real Pain, which represents 64.88% of the film's runtime, comparatively to Jesse Eisenberg, who was the lead actor, or was up for the lead nominations. I don't think he's really gotten anything big in terms of the lead actor, but he's like the lead, they're saying. Jesse Eisenberg has approximately 1 hour and 2 minutes, which is 69.77% screen time. So about a 2-minute difference there. 4-minute difference there. So it's just kind of interesting. It's like, in A Real Pain, the story is surrounding Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin, who are playing cousins, who are going on this trip to Poland to like see their family home before the family left Poland. And it's all about these cousins, and Kieran Culkin is like this kind of cousin going through some troubles, and Jesse Eisenberg is kind of worried about him. I've seen people talk about how they feel like Kieran Culkin is like more of the protagonist in the story, like or it's like a co-situation, how they're both really pushing and driving the story. Yeah, it's kind of told through Jesse's point of view, like we meet him first. I'm trying to think. Actually, I think we might meet Kieran first in the airport. I'm trying to remember. But like Jesse is the one, like, you know, when he may be thinking about how he's looking out for Kieran Culkin's character and how he's been through this tough time. So there is that, but it is very much like the two of them are like leading the movie. Obviously, they have almost the same amount of screen time. Yeah, we have sometimes more with Jesse, like if he's like calling his wife like a quick second. But it's kind of one of those things. It's like, is this not like a co-lead situation happening? I don't know. Hey, I want to quickly insert here that if Kieran Culkin wins the Best Supporting Actor for the Oscar for A Real Pain, which right now, again, he's the front runner to win the Oscar, he will make history as the category's first champion to have appeared in more than 60% of his film. The current supporting male record is 58.59%, which has been held for a half-century by Jack Albertson, and which was for the film The Subject Was Roses. And at the time, he was pretty obviously fairly miscategorized, apparently, and the people say they should have never even had the bar raised that high to have supporting performance of almost 60% win the award. So something else to consider. And again, comparing Kieran Culkin's performance, almost 55% of the movie, compared to an actor like Yura Borisov from Anora, who's nominated for the Oscar, he has 38.28% of Anora's runtime. Or Jeremy Strong of The Apprentice, he has 34.56% of the film's runtime. Even I would say for Yura, Yura's performance as Igor in Anora, he's in a lot of the movie after the home invasion, and they're like driving in the car. he's not saying anything. He's just like there, and like everyone else is speaking. So I'm sure that's counting towards his screen time. But he's more similar to like Isabella Rossellini to me, is like in her character in Conclave, where he's kind of just like there. He's around. She's not on camera as much, but he's on camera more because they're like in a car for a lot of the film, or a good chunk of the film. But he's not saying anything. We have a few moments with him. So again, kind of think about like comparing like a performance like that to comparing it to Kieran Culkin, who's projected right now to win the Oscar. He already won the Golden Globe. He's going to win some more awards, most likely. And great performance. I think it's excellent. I talked about his performance over on my TikTok. Yeah, so it's just one of those things. Like, it's interesting when you think about how are we judging people in terms of the performances. It's kind of tough to compare Isabella Rossellini's performance to Ariana Grande's or Zoe Saldana's. It's tough to compare Yora's performance from Anora to Kieran Culkin. Someone who's in a little bit of the movie, and then someone who is the movie essentially, and is a lot of people see as the co-lead. They're on the poster. They're doing all these things. I think all these posters, all of them have to a variation. Emilia Perez has a couple different posters, but a couple posters they have where it's all three of the women on front. And for Real Pain and for Wicked, every poster pretty much is the co-leads essentially. It's Elphaba and Glinda, and it's Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin on every poster. So it's something that's gonna, like I said, this is not a new thing. It's just more people are noticing it. I think specifically because a lot of the favorites this year are people who some people would consider a co-lead in a sense, so people are talking about it more. There's also things on the flip side. I remember last year Lily Gladstone was nominated for Best Actress for Killers of the Flower Moon. Her runtime, like a 3-hour movie or 3.5-hour movie about, I don't remember. Her runtime was like 58 minutes. Her screen time, 58 minutes. Leonardo DiCaprio's screen time was just under 2 hours. They were both considered lead, but the kind of thing with that was Robert De Niro had 8 minutes less screen time than Lily Gladstone, but he was supporting. And yeah, I guess, it makes sense in a sense because what that story is about, or to some people it did. That's another of those things of like, should she have been supporting actress maybe? Should she actually have been lead? Obviously, she was the center of the movie in a lot of cases. But it's one of those things like, okay, she was okay to move up to lead. So why aren't these actors who are supporting, who are lead, are they okay to move to supporting? All these things. People hop around. Studios know what they're doing to get people to essentially give them a better chance to get the people either nominated, get the people to win. They know I have to maybe spread out my actors in different categories. I can't have a bunch of leads who might not all get nominated. And obviously they want the more nominations, the better for these studios. The more nominations, the better for the people who are making the movies and all these things. We know how the business goes. But just wanted to quickly chat about it. Give me your thoughts on this. Have you thought about this like phenomena at all, specifically this year or any other of the years, about supporting actors being considered, or lead actors being considered supporting? See, I'm getting confused. I want to know your thoughts about it. So comment below what you think, what's going to happen coming up here. Are we going to keep seeing this? Are people going to be more stringent on who can go where? Or is it just going to be an accepted practice that we're just going to have to just shrug and move on? So anyway, it's the movies. Give me your thoughts. This has been a quick chat. I will talk to you guys in my next video. Some more award season stuff. It's really ramping up here. It's exciting. Thanks so much for tuning in and sticking on this journey. I look forward to talking to you in the comments. All right, bye-bye.